Hey, good morning. Welcome back to another video. We're out here in the local mountains. I'm with my buddy Sam from Deadman Offroad. We're gonna do some snow wheeling and some off-roading. Sam's gonna show me the ropes.
Maybe get stuck a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to get stuck. I have almost no snow or recovery experience. What truck do you have?
So I've got a 2018 Tundra with the GFC, very similar to yours. Gear we've got with us today, I mean, I bring probably more than I need to, but in these kind of conditions, I anticipate using a kinetic rope a few times. It's always good to have a handful of soft shackles, and then I have the ability to do a bridle pull as well, because this trail is really rutted out. So with a bridle, you want to make sure you're pulling on both sides of the vehicle at the same time, say if you're pulling from the front. The Deadman anchor can be used as a bridle, and I've got a couple other ropes with us as well.
So if there's anybody else up here, we have the opportunity to help them out. We'll try as well. Otherwise, we'll see what we get into and come along for the trip. This is already so rad. We're maybe 50 yards in and we're already laying down fresh tracks. There's some footprints, somebody went hiking, but no vehicles have been up here yet. So really looking forward to this.
How thick this ice is.
That's a solid like inch and a quarter thick ice in local San Diego mountains. Like, we do not get weather like this. This is unbelievable. I can't wait to keep exploring. All right, the snow is starting to get deep enough on this hill. Put it in 4 low now, turn the rear locker on, see if this makes a difference.
That's like 4 inches of snow right there. It's just you're into the drift.
Yeah, these drifts are getting pretty deep. Then there's holes. It probably doesn't show on camera very well, but there's a pretty deep hole here. So the center of the truck is quasi high centered on snow back towards the rear, like under the gas tank area. So I'm gonna move this way closer to the camera and try and get in the tracks a little bit better. Max Track was not getting enough traction. Maybe I need to dig it out more and get it under the tire further. But we have winches, so why dig? We're gonna do some soft shackle stuff with Sam here.
Hey, so Tyler's got himself into a pretty deep drift here. So we need to, I'm probably just gonna winch him back. And I just want to talk just briefly about something I'm seeing a lot here in recent weeks. We've had a ton of deep snow up around 395 Mammoth. Tahoe as well, and I'm seeing guys do kinetic pulls in reverse. That's not something that's ideal. I understand if the circumstances call for it, it's all you can do, but if it's not my first choice, it's hard on your transmission to pull like that in reverse. Consider what you're doing with all that energy. You're putting that on those gears that were not intended to carry a load, right? Your vehicle is intended to carry that load going forward, not in reverse, so I'm not doing that. I do have a winch on my rig. I'm a safe distance behind Tyler here, so we're just gonna pull some line attached to his bumper. I do wanna talk about pulling line real quick. On my winch, since this is there's no obstacles in the way, this is a nice clear path, I'm actually gonna release the clutch and just pull the line out. The idea there is that I'm not gonna get the engine or the motor on the winch working too hard ahead of time. It's about to go under a very heavy load. It's gonna have a little bit of a workout here, so let's keep that motor as cool as we can. Just pull the line out manually, walk it over, then engage the clutch when you start to winch. So what we're gonna use to attach my winch to Tyler's truck is we're gonna use a soft shackle. I'm doing that because I'm a fan of getting as much metal out of the recovery as possible to keep it as safe as possible. We have two different soft shackles here. Tyler's got one of our ruggedized soft shackles that we sell at Deadman. Notice the label is not only durable, but the weight ratings are clearly marked on here. Two different numbers on there. It's very confusing. There's a lot of education going on right now in various social media outlets. The MBS is the one I'm really interested in, right? That's the minimum braking strength. You don't want to get anywhere close to that number. This particular soft shackle, it's 43,000 pounds. We're not even close. Even if I call his rig 8,000, to be generous, 10,000, we're still well under the 43,000 MBS on this soft shackle. So our standard soft shackle is rated at 30,000 pounds. That's also gonna be adequate for the task. We're actually gonna end up using one on Tyler's truck. We've got the second one out here just in case we need to do some kind of tow. It's always good to have more than one soft shackle with you. So we're gonna attach the soft shackle to the bumper of Tyler's truck here. And we're just looking for a good recovery point that's intended for this purpose, right? We're not getting creative or even desperate by using this. This is not intended as a recovery point. Very low weight rating on these. These are for safety chains and towing. Don't go there, please. A lot of folks have like a hitch link or something that they can use here in the hitch receiver. That can be a good recovery point if it's rated for that. Attach the ruggedized soft shackle through this recovery point on Tyler's bumper, which is nice. It's definitely intended for this purpose. Sometimes you have to twist them in. Some of these recovery points are a little narrower than others. I'm not too worried about this soft shackle because it does have the protective sheathing over top of it. And we're gonna go ahead and just feed the knot through the eye there. It is a little bit tight, but that will work. And then we're gonna be pulling on it in this direction. So just another thing to keep in mind when you're releasing the clutch on your winch so that you can spool it out manually, you're putting your hand into more or less the engine compartment on a vehicle that is on often. So be very careful, know where it is, practice with the vehicle off, releasing that clutch. All right, so I've got my Ultra hook from Factor 55. A lot of folks there's other styles of hooks out there. Whatever you're using, just remember the expression hook up. So you always want the hook going up in case it were to come off, it would go towards the ground instead of fly back towards somebody, injure a vehicle, injure your buddy. So I'll go ahead and just attach it to the soft shackle. And then there is a pin that you can put in here to make it even safer that prevents this from opening. What I'm gonna do is take the tension out of the line before we start actually putting it under load. I'm just making sure that it's feeding into the winch cleanly. Okay, so we're tensioned now, and this is where I'm gonna have actually Tyler move back. I'm gonna get in my vehicle when I'm actually winching. That's where it's dangerous, right? Can't reiterate enough that you need to stay someplace safe, get behind a vehicle, behind a rock, tree, not a spectator sport. You don't need that footage for your social media. It's just about safety at that point, right? Because remember, you get injured out here, you're now stuck and somebody's hurt. We can't have that scenario, right?
We're stuck again. I'm trying to blaze the trail. It's getting pretty deep. Everything under my truck is dragging the whole time. All the skids, the diff. We'll try the max tracks again before we get the winch out. See if we can do a easy recovery and quit. right, we're a couple hours in at least. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. We're in 16 or 18 inches of snow now. We're at a flat spot. So taking a break for a minute, but setting up the cameras, running up and down, doing some shoveling and some recovery stuff. It's a little bit harder in all this snow, but it's still a lot of fun. Happy to be up here. Not a soul around. It's a Friday, early morning. So we've got the whole place to ourselves. See how much further we can go. It's getting deeper. I'm having to take runs at the snow and then back up and take another run at it. I just dug this hole out of curiosity of how deep it actually is. And it's 2 feet deep. I know the shadow's terrible. There's dirt down there. But we're going almost up to the handle on this shovel. It's for sure a couple feet. We've got this section coming up next. The trail is down here on the right, and then it's all like a snowdrift on the left there. Here's a cattle crossing, which obviously is buried. So we're gonna make this right turn and keep heading up the mountain. We shouldn't be too far away from the top now. All right, Sam took over leading the trail, and inevitably he got stuck. So Sam just made a great point. The truck is loaded to the passenger side with weight. So it's a lot more beneficial to put the tracks on the passenger side tires that will likely have more traction in theory versus the driver's side that won't. So maybe this will be a little more beneficial. All right, same issue I was having. The max track isn't getting under the tire far enough without digging out the snow. So tried the easy method first. Again, not working. So it's digging or a winch.
A lot of winches these days come with a wired or a wireless option. Consider if you have a wireless remote that it is driven by batteries, right? Do you have extra batteries on your vehicle? I've had it happen where you get out to say Death Valley or Mojave Road, pretty far from civilization. You're a couple AAAs from being in a bad spot, right? So just if you have the wireless, remember or think about turning it on a regular basis, testing it, making sure it's good before you leave.
Mine's wireless, but I also have the wired option. So I liked that feature. It's all personal preference, like everything else in this hobby. But I keep it wireless 90% of its life, but I have the wired option as a backup.
Nice.
All right, we got it just under a little bit of tension.
All right, hey, so Tyler, before you get started here, just a couple quick notes. The vehicle should be in neutral if at all possible. And then your foot on the brake.
Okay.
And your tires lined up, with the trail. You don't want to chalk the tires, extreme left or right.
Yep. And what about e-brake?
E-brake can be on, that's fine.
Okay.
But I keep my foot on the pedal just in case.
All right, we've been battling this uphill section behind us. There's pretty large snow drift on it. It's noon. We've been out here since 7 a.m. Having a ton of fun. A lot of learning experience for me from Sam. Enjoying every minute of it, but we're trying to decide if the push forward is worth the time and effort at this point. We've done 3 or 4 winchings, a couple max tracks, all that. So I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the trucks are back here. Sam and I just are walking up this hill, up the trail a little ways to see, again, if the effort is worth it. So we're taking a break. We're kind of spent. All this hiking around up here in the elevation, 5,000 feet or so. The deep snow, running back and forth with the winches and the cameras and all that. We're getting tired pretty quick, so keep that in mind if you're up here. So we might do a little lunch, some water, and then decide if we're pushing through that way, breaking new trail still, or if we're turning around and calling it for the day and just appreciate Sam's time so far and teaching me literally the ropes of recovery. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. We're at the end of the trail mostly. We just aired up. We had no reason to keep pushing it further. Always go in a pair when you're, at least a pair when you're out in a area like this. There's no reason to push your vehicle or your skills to the max to where you're getting in a sketchy situation. We went as far as we reasonably could. We did some recoveries to get me spooled up on how to do it properly. And then when it wasn't reasonable to keep going, we turned around. So don't let your ego get in your way. If you had a specific point you were trying to get to, make a different plan. Have a plan B and go somewhere else. So thanks to Sam from Deadman for bringing out all his equipment. What kind of stuff did we use today to get out of the situations?
So we always went to the easy tools first, right? So max tracks are always easy to get to. We tried those. We were unsuccessful a couple of times. We did some digging with the shovels, and then we went to the winches because I was having to winch you back a couple times, or you winched me back.
Yeah.
So then we used soft shackles to attach the winches to the vehicles. I mean, we were aired down as best we could. We were trying to, tread lightly. We weren't going crazy off the trail. We were trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
And I think we both learned a lot, actually.
Yeah.
There were a couple times where I didn't have the winch, the clutch even engaged, and you just need to have like a little mental checklist, and it's crazy when you get tired and the day's wearing on, you start to skip things on that checklist, right?
All right, well, I think that about does it. Anything else we forgot or you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
So check out our website. We have a full line of American-made recovery products. So Deadman Offroad.com. And then you can follow us on social media. We're at Deadman_Offroad. And then hopefully you guys can come out and say hi if you're at Overland Expo in Flagstaff in May. We'll be there like we have been for the last 6 years. So drop by, just say hello, introduce yourselves, and we're always willing to talk education. So if you guys have questions about recovery, not necessarily certain products, if you just have questions about recovery techniques, there are classes that are available at Expo, but we're always willing to learn, and we're willing to just engage in those conversations and really, we always take something away from that, and we share our experience with, whomever is asking. So it's a good time, and thanks for inviting me out, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do this again.
Appreciate it. Thanks again for checking out the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks,
Cool.
Sam.
All right, man.